Okay, in this video we're going to, I'm going to show you how to draw and interpret box plots. I'm going to use example 7 on page 775, but I think where we'll start is we'll just, look here. Okay, so box plots, sometimes called box and whisker plot. Okay, so, and then again what we'll do is this is kind of coming at the tail end of the problem. So we're going to back up a little bit. One page. Okay, to this number 7. And they give you some number. Here's males. And then the next page they have some females. But what these are the average lifespans of males in different South American nations. So let me get my calculator to show you some things on there that'll help you solve some problems. Okay, as I said before, these numbers right here across the bottom of the page, that's on page 775, they are for males, and they go from least all the way up to the greatest. They have them in order. So let's look at the calculator here. So what I did is I went to Stat Edit, and I put the numbers in right here. There's that 59. You put all the numbers there for the males in list 1, and then list 2 are the females, and that's at the top of the page on the next page there. Okay, so I've put them in on my calculator, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you both how to get the calculator to do a box plot and also how to do a box plot on paper. So once you have your data in on list 1, list 2, what you can do is go to second stat plot, and it brings you to this screen right here. And what I did is I took plot 1 and plot 2 and made them box plots, so you can see right here the icons already. But let's go to plot 1, and you can see I've turned it on. I've chosen box plot with outliers. This is without. If you choose this one, if there are any outliers, it will show you what they are. Okay, so I just always use that one. Then that's list 1, so this is going to be a box plot for the males. And I don't like using just the dots. I like to use boxes or the plus signs. Okay, so now then on plot 2, I can just go over to plot 2. And we can look at that one. You can see I've turned that one on. I've also chosen the box plot with outliers. And notice I put in list 2 here. So this will be the box plot for females. Now, as I showed you in the past, that if you're going to do anything, any graphing with statistics, what you do is you go to zoom and then use number 9. So that's zoom stat, and I just always press 9. And there they are. Okay. So the top one is the male, the bottom one is the female. So you can see that it's interesting. Life expectancies here are quite different. And box plots, they're really not meant to be real specific in numbers, but it's really interesting how we can compare here that basically almost 50%. So these things are, let me grab a pen here, they are split. So that's the middle here, right? So this little area here, that box part, is 25%, and this upper part is 25%. So 50% of the female life expectancies are greater than all of the male life expectancies. And 75, so from this point up is 75%. 75% of the female life expectancies are greater than 50%. So this would represent 50% of the male. And that's how you talk when you're comparing box plots. You use percents, 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%, and we'll talk more about that as I draw things out for you. But I want to show you something here which is really slick, is if you hit trace, notice right here it's showing you the minimum, and it shows it right there. Now when I click over, okay, there's the first quartile. See how it shows Q1, and then MED for median, that's 68.75, and then there's your upper quartile, and there's your maximum. And I can use my down arrow key, jump to the other box plot, run through that one, and see all the, the key points. Okay, but let's go back to this one. Okay, and I'm going to show you, okay, if you're drawing one on paper, what should that look like? Well, first off, you should have a nice number line set up. Okay, and you can't be specific when you're making your box plot, but at least you can get some approximations. But the smallest number was 59, so I started 55, and I went up to 75 because I knew that would be greater than the round 72, 73 that this one is. Okay, so what do we have? We had 59, right? So what you do is you go on above your graph and you make a mark like this at 59 approximately. Then you go, okay, well, there's 64.1, so that you got to approximate that. There's 64, so you go, a little bit more. Now that one you make a little bit bigger. Then you go to your median and put a line, same type of line. Okay, and then you go to your upper quartile, your Q3. Now when you get those in here, sorry about jumping all over the place, but you'd make your box. Okay, then here you'd run out your line there for the lower 25%, and then this is my maximum, which again you can just, if you have it on here, you can just jump over there and see 72.6. So again, you're approximating that. Now sometimes when they're laying this stuff out, when someone does a box plot, they actually will put in like, okay, 72.6 there, and then this is 71.65 and 68.75. Okay, so they'll put those in. They don't always do that because that isn't really being real specific. Isn't one of the big things with box plots. It's more seeing how things are distributed. So like here you can see it's kind of skewed to the left. Okay, if this box is nicely centered on this line, it's a good sign that you have a normal distribution. So that's one thing that they look for a lot in statistics. Okay, but notice all the other numbers aren't in here. Okay, so what are we concerned with? Well, we're concerned with, okay, where does the lower 25% lie? And then here's the next 25%. Okay, so there's 50%, go from 59 to about 69. Then here's your next 25%, and then your upper 25%. Very small areas. So then you can kind of look at, well, where's your middle 50% from here to here, from 64 to about 72, etc. Okay, now, and then just a reminder, right, this is your min. This is your lower quartile, which they call Q1. Your median, not your mean, your median. Your upper quartile, Q3, and then this is your max. So that's how you lay out a box plot. Now, I will go back here and just say that, okay, when you have an outlier as you're jumping here, okay, if there's an outlier, it would be sitting out here. It'll be all by itself, won't be connected. And when you use your right arrow key, it'll jump to that. It'll tell you what it is, as long as you've used the icon that is box plot with outliers. Okay, and then just one more thing I want to show you with this is once you have your data in, if you go to Stat and then Calculate and do your, say, one variable statistics, I'm just going to do it for the list 1, and I go down to Calculate, what I want to remind you of here is this. When you go to the bottom, these 5 numbers, there they are, the min, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, max. So you can actually draw this out without graphing it on your calculator. You could go here, get these numbers, and then draw all that out. Okay, but this is what they call your 5-number summary. 5 numbers, 5-number summary. You say that to a statistician, they know exactly what you're talking about. So that's it for drawing and interpreting box plots.